Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Looks like we are live. Had to check my microphone because I haven't done one of these in a while, so I forgot to set it up. But what's happening, man? Wow, it's bright. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Thought I'd do a quick evening broadcast because I haven't been on the channel in a while. And I've been trying to think about how to approach this channel in the near future. You know, do like a new season of Malan DTV or whatever you want to call this channel. I used to call this Malan DTV 1,000 years ago. Must have been around 2003 or 2004. I started broadcasting on the web way back before YouTube. YouTube didn't even exist. I was using a flash encoder that you had to install and put on your own server, and you had to stream it yourself. There was no YouTube, none of this easy stuff to make it happen. But that was a long time ago. But yeah, so you know, this year's been really fun on the channel, and I took a break. I went on a nice break. Let's just talk about the break, and I'll tell you about the channel. You'll see what happens with the channel. I'm thinking of starting a new season. Not that anything's really going to change, just the way I approach it may change. But yeah, man, so I've been on a break, as you may or may not have noticed. Haven't been on the channel as much. And I'll tell you where I've been. I'm going to pull up my channel real quick and see if... I've never done this before on this one. I do these live streams inside of Mad Society, but I've never actually gone live in a long time on this channel. So let's see, we've got a chat box. Oh yeah, you guys are all there. Hey babes, you still doing website helping? No. You have a new tattoo? No. Hey Malan, hey. What's up everybody? Good to see you there. Yeah man, so I went on this amazing break, and that's why I went for 11 days into Oklahoma. Wrapped around the Thanksgiving holiday, and I wanted this trip to see a lot of old friends that I haven't seen in a long time. And there's been this kind of magnet effect happening in this little town that I grew up in called Ada, Oklahoma. And there's been this kind of little magnet effect happening recently where not everyone, but a lot of the guys that I grew up with and girls that I grew up with have been returning to our hometown, whether permanently or temporarily or just for the holidays. And I got a call several weeks back from one of my best friends, and he said, look, he said, me, and he named off some of my closest buddies from high school. He said, we're all hanging out at this house where we all used to hang out at, playing guitars, having drinks, smoking a little pot. Everyone's telling stories and laughing, and it's amazing. And I said, man, I got to get there. Then I got a call maybe a week later, many days later, from a girl that I knew when I was in middle school and high school. And I haven't seen her since then. And she was going to be in town as well. And I thought, man, this is a signal from the universe, right? So I went ahead and booked a flight, a long trip for Thanksgiving. Usually if I go home for Thanksgiving, it's 3 days. I'll go to Tulsa for a few days, go to see my mom in Tahlequah, and then I'll come back to LA. But this time I wanted to do a long tour. And to tell you the truth, I needed the break. You guys, I can't stress enough, and this is just me talking to me, how important a break is from whatever you're doing. I mean, I get so wrapped up in the blog and YouTube channel, writing music, running campaigns, running the forum, all that kind of stuff, that I just forget to breathe. And so I took, a week and a half to just not worry about anything. I had very limited access to the internet, which was unique and nice and needed. Not used to that. When I got to my destination in Ada, I asked the woman that owns the home that we all stayed at, I said, do you have Wi-Fi? And she said, no. She said, well, if you want to get on the internet, use your phone as a personal, what's it called? A personal connection or whatever, personal hotspot, and you can just do that. And so I did that. And when you are operating like that, you're kind of really conscious about the data that you're using. And I didn't want to do a lot of heavy internet browsing. So I just did the very minimum necessary to kind of keep things running on my work stuff. And then to keep, I could check Twitter, I could check Facebook every once in a while, but not much. And that was really nice. I think that 11 days was probably the least amount of time I've spent on the internet in a decade or a decade and a half, because the access just wasn't there. And I was surrounded by people who I really care about, who I have a billion stories to share with and remember with, and who are very incredibly intelligent. And that's another thing. While I was there, I forgot what it's like to be surrounded by people who are way smarter than you are. And they just, without even knowing it, they just spill genius information that a guy like me has never learned. I'm not an educated guy. I picked up some education reading later in life from jail. When I was locked up, a girlfriend of mine sent me a lot of books, and I read Hemingway and Poe and Bukowski and everything. Like, I was reading Isaac Asimov. I read Dianetics. I was reading about a book a day because there was nothing else to do. Book every 48 hours. I was reading so fast that the other prisoners were scared of me. They thought I had some sort of a magical power. And I'm serious. They got to where they were worried about me. They thought maybe I was possessed. It's like, guys, I'm just not illiterate like 99% of the other people in the jail. Like, I can read books. But I'm not an educated guy, but some of my friends are. They were really, really, really genius in high school. And now that they've grown up and they're in their early 40s, they are just genius. Some of them have continued to learn, continued to grow, and their minds were just incredible. And it's been a while since I've hung out with people like that are just brilliant. And I don't know why it is. I mean, I guess it's sort of, I don't know what it is, but it was nice to be around it again. I just listened. A lot of times, like, you talk, but no one ever listens. Like, the joke is while someone's talking, all we do is kind of we prepare what we're going to say, and then we wait for them to shut up so we can start talking, right? That's how most of us listen. We don't really listen. But these people I just listened to, and they broke down things that were just basic information for them, but were mind-blowing for me. And I won't get into the specifics, but it was just great to be around some really bright, brilliant, and unique, and loving. These are people that you care about, and people that care about you, and people that you've cared about each other since you were, early teens. So it was a really good break to be around some really good friends. And we haven't been together in, 20 years or something, or way more, 25 years. Because after high school, a lot of people break off into groups. People get married, people join the Army, people join the Navy, people get jobs, people have careers, and they just disappear into their own lives. And it's rare to have that many people reappear kind of randomly in the same place at the same time. To me, it was like a sign from the universe that, I need to move back to Oklahoma, and maybe there's something there I need to do. I don't know. Not that I'm going to do that, but it crossed my mind for the first time in a million years. But yeah, man, it was a fantastic trip. I played more guitars. I started in Tulsa, I think. Yeah, I flew out of LA, landed in Tulsa, and hung out with my Tulsa crew. Now, I spent 6 years in Tulsa, mainly designing websites and playing music. And I spent a lot of time with friends from both of those worlds. I got to see one of my best friends, George, almost every day. We always have dinners and coffees and lunches. He's one of my best friends of maybe 20 years or so. And I also got to sit down with some musician friends. I got to hang out with my friend Eric, who I was in a band with called Rewake. He was the bass player, and I haven't seen him since I left Tulsa, embarrassingly. He's a dude I love. We had many, many years of fun together and wild and crazy times. When I moved, I just kind of cut contact with a lot of people. I just burned bridges, just burned the whole city down when I left. And so it was nice to reconnect. I don't know why I do that. You feel like when you leave an area, that's it. It's over, never coming back. I don't know what that is. Just a stubborn streak probably. But got to see him play with some guys, and that was really fun to see him play now. See how his bass playing's grown, and he was using a lot of effects pedals and stuff, and that was pretty cool. Nice to see him expanding his repertoire. Then I also got to see our guitar player, Paul Benjamin, who is a guitarist in Tulsa and doing some really cool stuff. Got to see him live. And then we met up and talked. We haven't, we've barely talked over the last 9 years, just off and on. But I drove out to his place just outside of town somewhere and looked at his stuff. And we went through a box of old Rewake CDs and posters and set lists. And it was just hilarious. And I came home with some stuff that I was going to use to put on online. Like we have some albums. We have one called Air Bubbles, one called Foreign. We have a live one. We have like 3 live ones. One that we put out that didn't sound great. And another 2 that no one has ever heard, that I had never heard. One of them, he gave me one from an Edge birthday bash show that we did, oh my God, probably 12 years ago, that I've never listened to. I didn't even know it existed, but we have it. I have it. And then there's another full live concert from our CD release party when we released Air Bubbles in 2001. And I haven't heard that in a decade, or since maybe 2001 or 2002. So maybe even 15 years. And I listened to it. Another friend from Oklahoma sent it to me, the digital files, and listened to it. It blew my mind. So we were talking about what to do with those. And I was going to put some of this stuff online, but I realized I came home with the CDs, but I don't have a CD-ROM at all on any computer that I have. They don't even put CD-ROMs on computers anymore. So I have this kind of old media that I don't know how to get. I'm gonna have to go to Kinko's and like dump it off to a disk. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we'll see. I'll dump it to a FTP site or something, but maybe we'll get that on. But had some really good times in Tulsa. Got to hang out with my friend Jeremy Charles, who started off as a web designer. He also played guitar. Then he transitioned to being a photographer, and now he's doing videos and documentaries. Really cool stuff. Cool to see him grow. Got to see his studio space there in Tulsa. It was huge, just expanded, beautiful. And then, yeah, man, so I left Tulsa. Usually I would go straight to Mom's place, but this time I went to Ada and saw all my old friends, and it was just incredible. I was there, I think, 4 days. And I did everything. I saw as many people as I could. I didn't really care about sleep or eating or anything. All I wanted to do was talk, play guitars, drink coffee, and hang out. And that's what we did the entire time. And it's fantastic. Was there for 4 days. Saw a bunch of people I haven't seen in ages. I went and hung out shout out to Dave's Music. I went to Dave's Music in Ada and hung out with Dave. He's a guy I played with in a band when I was 15. I was the kid in the band, and he was the rhythm guitar player. And he was maybe 21 or 23, a little older than me. I was the little kid in the band. But we got to reminisce and talk about all the old stories and the funny songs we used to play and all that stuff. And yeah, man, but I got to spend some time with just some real special people. I don't want to get into it because it's pretty personal. You know, there's a lot of deep stuff that went down and a lot of cool stuff we talked about, but, you know, don't need to get into it all here. But then after that, I jumped in the rental car and drove to Tahlequah to see my mom. And this all went over a week and a half or so. So that's why you haven't seen me on YouTube or anywhere. There's just been no time. And I didn't really want to screw up the trip by thinking about it like a vlog. You know what I mean? The vlog thing, I don't know if that's for me. I kind of like just doing these long form videos with you guys. But yeah, man, went and hung out with my mom, had Thanksgiving with her and my nephew and the dogs. I bonded with her dogs this year for the first time ever. You know, I don't know if I'm seriously allergic to dogs, but I have a problem with allergies with cats. So I usually leave animals alone. Like when I stay at people's houses, if they have animals, I don't really want to stay there, especially cats. I'll get a hotel. But this year I decided to just jump in with my mom's dogs, and I did, and I love them. I fell in love. She has 3 little dogs. They're so cute. It's unbelievable. What is it? Bear is the little boy. Sassy is the sister, the little girl. And then Ginger is the mom. And we hung out. And I played with them for the first time. I got fur on my hands and on my clothes, and it wasn't the end of the world. I'm trying to lighten up a little bit. Love those dogs. But yeah, man, had Thanksgiving and came back to LA in a few days, maybe on I guess today is what, Wednesday? I got back Saturday night. My first day back was really Sunday morning. So I've been back for 3 days. And one funny thing that happened is, and I'm probably the only person on the planet that can say this, and that is I lost 6 pounds. I lost 6 pounds over the Thanksgiving holiday. And I mean, I guess the reason is because I didn't eat as much food as I usually eat, because I wasn't really thinking about food or tracking anything or counting calories or worrying about protein or anything. I just kind of ate whenever there was food. And if I went to bed and I was a little hungry, I didn't really care. I got home, weighed myself, and I think I was 149 pounds when I left. And when I weighed myself, I was 143, which is the lightest I've been in years. But I feel good. I like being small, as it turns out. A lot of people are caught up, like I got caught up. Oh, I should be 175, 180, man, because that's what the internet says. But when I don't keep track of what I'm eating, I shrink to this exact same size, like 140 to 145. So I think that's probably my natural weight. But I'm little, and man, if you want to, it's funny. It's like the less I try to lose weight, like leaving town and not tracking and not worry about it, the faster it happened. I had some pounds to shed. I ate a bunch. I went on an ice cream and donut month a few months ago, and I put on like 14 pounds of just pure fat, just for the hell of it. And then I lost most of it, but I got stuck at about 150. And when I left town, stopped tracking everything and just didn't worry about it, like it all just fell off. And it seems like, and I heard someone say this before, that sometimes tracking your calories can make you eat more, because, and I would catch myself doing this. On nights or days when I wasn't really hungry, I would go ahead and just force the food in to hit the 2,000 calories a day or 2,400 or whatever I was trying to do. And I struggled to steadily lose weight by doing that. But when I just didn't worry about it, I think I just naturally don't eat a lot. It just slipped right off. So if you want a super secret weight loss protocol, go home for Thanksgiving and just don't eat all the time. I mean, I did the best I could, but when you're traveling, you're staying with other people, there's not like bowls of chicken to eat or bowls of Greek yogurt to eat. You know what I mean? You just you get in where you can and you eat something, and maybe you meet someone for breakfast, and maybe at the end of the night, there's something else to eat. I don't know. But yeah. So let me see if I can do this. I'm going to need you guys. I'm going to need your help for this. I'm going to refresh this, see what's going on in the chat room. Good moods make you lose weight. Show us your six-pack. How's the marketing? Answer some questions from listeners. Paul Benjamin, did Malan stop marketing? No. 10 by 10 make live streams earlier. Yeah, I know. I just thought of doing this randomly, so I just did it. Is Malan drinking? No. This has a little bit of THC juice in it. The red color you see. Not much. So what was I going to do? Oh, I need you guys to tell me if you can hear this. So I got this paused. I want to play some music from a friend of mine, but I need you guys to help me in the chat room because I've never done this, and tell me how this sounds or if it sounds at all. I'm going to play this. Tell me if you can hear it. Go to the chat room. Tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear it? Let me know if you guys can hear that. Oh, cool. Does it sound good? All right, listen to this. This is my friend Chris Combs' new album. And here's his hat. Combsy. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, man. Crazy. Yeah, so a few people have said the quality wasn't great. So I'll share the SoundCloud link. You can check it out for yourself. There's the link. That's something new I want to do on this channel, is kind of introduce you guys to some new music that you may have never heard before. Because I know a lot of really cool artists personally that you will never hear of unless you know them. And so I want to play them on the channel while we do these streams and these uploads, but I want to do it in a way that the quality is pretty good too. So I'm actually going to end up watching this after we close this to see how the quality is. But, you know, maybe not the best, but check it out. CombsyMusic.com. His band, or his name is Chris Combs. So the band name is Combsy. I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool, easy way to do a band name without really, you know, you don't want to just use your name. Hi, we're the Chris Combs Band. I guess you can. But Combsy's cool. Cool logo too. Whoever did their branding is awesome. The album, hang on, let me get the album. The album artwork is awesome. I don't know who did the art, but I love it. It's like minimal and futuristic, artsy. Probably has the artwork by Johannes Schebler. I don't know who that is, and I'm sure I've said the name wrong, but that's what I see. Yeah, so that's some Tulsa music I'm sharing with you guys. There's a lot of it that you've never heard of, but if you're into good music, you may love it. Someone said they probably give out combs at their shows. That's why I love you guys. You come up with the most ridiculous ideas. Hey, the band's name's Combsy. They probably give out combs at their shows. Yeah, that's just one. So I'm going to use that as a test, and I'm going to go back and watch it later. And if it's good, I'll introduce you to some other new music that you may not have heard of that you might really like. There's another guy, Paul, that I told you about. I've got his album, and I'm going to play it for you on the stream. Who else is there? There's so many bands there. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of country artists, a lot of Americana artists, a lot of like classic rock artists. There's a few funky type of bands, a lot of great musicians in that little town. And it's a good time. You should create a playlist on SoundCloud, or okay, let's read the live chat. I want to read a few things off my phone too, but first we'll look at the live chat and see what you guys are up to. Let's see who we've got. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I had no idea you guys were going. You changed my life. Thank you. Just thanks. Nice. I love when people say that. I have no idea how that would happen, but I hear that sometimes it makes me feel really good. Just watched your interview with iStack. Yeah, man, that's something I need to post. I've told Eric that I would promote that, and I have not. That was a good podcast. He was a good interviewer, mixed it up pretty well. Is Malan drinking? No. What about veganism? No comment. Everybody says they like the Combsy music. Cool, man. Whatever happened to the affiliate course? Yeah, so it's not done. When are you coming out with your course? Where is the course? We'll see about that. I haven't had a lot of time to deal with that. And I told you guys when I launched that sign-up form, it was really just to gauge interest, and I was very shocked by how much interest there was. But I have it outlined, and I need, it's a lot of work. You have to shoot the videos, put it all together, make sure that it's worth the damn money. And I've been heavily involved in the forum lately. Like today, yesterday we did a live Q&A there. And good times. Okay. That's it for the comments. Now let's see what's happening. This is one of my favorite things to do. Even though you're not supposed to do it. This is the worst idea ever. But first thing in the morning, I look at Twitter. Number one, I look to see like what my few people that I follow are posting. Check my mentions and stuff. And then you always end up clicking to this damn news tab, which is the death of all society happens in the news tabs on these social media apps. I wish I could take off that damn news feed, because now Facebook has it, you can't escape it, and Twitter has it, you can't escape it. Snapchat has all the news, you can't escape it. Even Instagram, when you go into the search button, it's just full of crap, and it's the death of society. But for some reason, I have to go into it. We're all addicted to it. And we're just going to randomly see what they're talking about right now. This is going to be great. All right, first thing. For some, a prairie home companion was problematic before Keller allegations. And if you guys haven't heard about this dude was the voice of Prairie Home Companion, which I used to listen to all the time for years and years and years on NPR. And I guess he's been accused of sexual assault and all kinds of crazy stuff, harassment allegations, mild racism. Garrison Keillor is his name. Yeah, and everyone's saying they grew up loving a Prairie Home Companion. After years, my favorite way to spend Saturday nights was cooking dinner to a Prairie Home Companion. There were things about the show which were mildly racist and mildly homophobic. I let them pass because, well, I was young and the show comforted me. This is one of the dangerous ways the ideology of, wow, this goes deep. It's just it's a black pit of sadness and horror. So when you start reading these stories, because everyone's wrapped up in these certain topics right now, and everything is racism, everything is Nazis, everything is the most graphic, crazy word they can find. If someone's a jerk, they're Hitler. Or if someone's a mean person, they're a murderer. And it makes for great clicks. And here's the thing. Like, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but once I'm involved in marketing online, and I know for a fact, these media companies that are posting the news for you on your social media apps, they're playing with you. They've finally figured out the TMZ model. All of these, quote unquote, mainstream media organizations, they've finally figured out that the way you make money with news online is gossip, salacious headlines, rumors, gossip, embarrassing stories. Perez Hilton and TMZ figured it out a long time ago, and it took almost a decade for the big media companies to figure it out. But now they figured it out. And they're basically doing politics now are like the Jerry Springer show. They find the one person on one side of the fence and another one on the other side of the fence, and they just let them go to war on stage and fight, and everyone goes, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. That's kind of what's happening right now. They've turned all of news and all of politics into the Jerry Springer show. And we're all the idiots in the audience going, Jerry. Every time you retweet or post anything or start arguing about politics, they make money. You guys know that, right? The news media, they're not here to help you. They're not here to give balanced news. They don't really care about that at all. All they care about is making money, and they're making tons of money on all of this crap, on all these headlines that everyone clicks on and shares and argues about. So just remember, every time you share a link, every time you read an article, every time you like an article, they get paid. Your brain cells are depleted and they get paid. Let's see if we can find anything that's not related to assaults and racism and Hitler. Here's one. Post Malone, who is a newer music artist, pays tribute to Lil Peep. And Lil Peep with a new tattoo. Lil Peep is a guy that I've been listening to for about 2 years, and it's really sad. I think I've talked about him on here before, but he started when he was 17 in his bedroom, and within like 4 months of playing around with music programs, he was starting to get famous on SoundCloud. Blew up real quick. And he sang like emo rock lyrics over hip hop beats. It was a really weird mixture of music. And when I first heard him, I thought he was the future. I was like, this is going to be Nirvana. Like, he's figured it out. He's a good looking kid. He's got tattoos all over his face. He's got a cool voice with a cool aesthetic. The lyrics are all fantastic and about depression and taking drugs and, all this weird stuff. And the music is kind of sad and dark and gloomy. And I just got wrapped up in it like 2 years ago. And I've been listening to him every day, almost every day ever since I found him. And unfortunately, he passed away, overdosed on some laced Xanax. I think the Xanax was laced with fentanyl. And he died. He was only 21. He was just getting started. But it looks like Post Malone got a tattoo of him on his arm. So let's see what that looks like. Listen to his voice. It's pretty cool. He sang almost like little nursery rhymes. Everything was like ba 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 da 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 da. Like ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy. But he passed away, man. 21 years old. That really sucks. That's all I can stand from the news tab. Everything else is just madness. Another producer fired. And that's another funny thing about Twitter news. You go directly from, let's say it's a very important story about allegations of sexual assault, and then in the same breath, it's something about the Jersey Shore. Like, how can you be a real news organization when it's just right beside an important political article or an important social article? It's something about the Jersey Shore or the Kardashians. Like, pick one. But see, that's the game. They don't have to pick one. They're making so much money, it doesn't matter. So don't be an idiot and click it all. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And don't post it on Facebook. Don't share it on Twitter. Leave it alone. Leave them alone. I actually think that the internet was a better place. I miss the days when you had to kind of have a brain. Well, not have a brain. You had to have enough interest and enough knowledge to at least install a blog on a domain, buy a domain, set up hosting, and install WordPress. That was the barrier to entry if you wanted to share your thoughts online. So it kind of kept out a lot of the, let's say, weaker-minded humans. But now with Twitter, Facebook, and everything else, anyone can just start typing their opinion on the web. And as it turns out, human beings aren't a very bright group overall. You know, I'd say the majority of humans that I see posting on the internet are quite dull, quite dim-witted is a nice way to say stupid, and maybe bored, miserable. And so they go online and they share all this stuff and argue with people for fun because their life sucks, and why not? And I get it. When I first encountered the internet, a friend of mine in Dallas named Rob had the internet. I didn't know what it was. I said, put me on the internet. He said, you want to get on? I said, yeah, I don't know what that means, but I'll try. And he logged me into Yahoo Chat is what he actually logged me into. And so I picked a name and he logged me into this chat room. And it was something about people who, it was like something people who like to look at stars or something like that. And I was drunk. Back then I drank a lot. And I was there and I put my beer down and I just started typing to people like, F you, you guys are all a bunch of idiots. And I just would argue with people for like an hour and I had a blast. And I thought that's what the internet was. I thought the internet was a Yahoo chat room where you logged in and fought with people for like an hour and then you logged off and went on with your life. And today, I feel like some people, some of us still use it that way. They basically use, the internet is like the greatest resource we've ever had in history. You know that, right? Like you can learn anything. You can find anything. You can research anything. You can learn to do website. You can get the same education you could get at a 4-year college online in 6 months. It's like all the information in the world, all of human history is there. But a lot of people think that the internet is just Facebook and Twitter, and they log in, post political articles, and then fight with people all day. That's all they do. That's it. They post things about Trump, things about Hillary. Everyone goes to war, and they wake up the next morning. They look to see who responded. They get in there and comment, and it's a big fight. And I feel like in, what year would have this been? 1994, when I used to do that on Yahoo Chat. I wasn't a bright guy. I had a pretty crappy situation, kind of homeless, major drinking problem, very depressed. And logging on to the internet and fighting with people made me feel better about my life. So I get it. I feel like some people are still stuck in that phase. Like they just don't understand what the internet is and what they could be doing if they use their time better. Like imagine if we took all of the hours that everyone in the world spent on Facebook arguing about nonsense or just wasting time watching cat videos, and everyone transitioned and used that time in order to do something good, to raise money, to learn, to create a business, to build a product, to make an app, to watch a documentary, to just make yourself a better person. Like all the answers are there. But everyone's using it to fight and read stupid news articles. It's basically turned into the Jerry Springer show. Like, I don't know a better way to say it. It's like I didn't like reality. I got sick of the real world. So I liked to come to the internet. Way back in the day, bloggers, the blogger hangouts, like it was a unique, like cool group of people, a few people that had blogs. Now everyone's got it. They've got YouTube profiles and blogs and Instagrams, and they're shooting videos of themselves, yelling the dumbest stuff and arguing with people. And it's sad. We have the greatest tool ever invented by humans in front of us, and we use it to fight about things that really don't even matter and that no one's right or wrong about. Like when people from two different religions get in an argument, it's like no one's either right or wrong. If you're a Christian and then you've got a Mormon and they're fighting over who's right, neither one of you are right. The moment you think you've got it all figured out, that's when you know you're the most confused person of all. You know, I like with religion, how can you be sure? How do you know that you were just lucky enough to be born into a religion where it was the one true religion? Like why? I wonder if you had been born to someone else, would you have left their religion you were born into and gone to? It's like these arguments. There's no real answer, right or wrong. It's not like, is the sky blue? Yes or no. It's, is the thing that I believe in that created the universe better than the thing that you believe in that created the universe? And no, we're honestly all talking about the same thing, a mystery that no one knows. No one has any clue. No one has a clue why we're here. Not a single clue. But it sure does make for some great wars. Sure does make for some great arguments online. Anyway, I don't want to get too wrapped up in that because then I just become part of the problem. I'm also getting tired. It's about 9:30. I think I'm going to go to bed. But this was a good test. I wanted to just see how a live stream goes. That first, number one, to see how it goes, see if people showed up, and you did, and thank you. Number two, I want to watch the playback and see how the quality looks compared to the normal uploads that I usually do. And then number three, I really want to hear how the music comes through, because if I can figure out a way to stream the music correctly for you guys to hear it during these streams, I want to do like a music break in the middle and introduce you to some of my friends that play music that you've never heard, and some artists that you may have never heard of that I don't know that I just like. Problem with playing music on YouTube is, of course, you get copyright strikes if the bands are signed to major labels and all their music is copyrighted. But with my friends, I can probably play their stuff and it won't be a problem. So it'll be fun. But anyway, man, I don't know. I just wanted to check in with you and make sure everyone's alive. Number one, get a few things off my chest before I go to bed and get back into the groove of YouTube. So we're going to check the live chat one more time and then head out. Oh, you guys are arguing about what I was just talking about. Sweet. Twin fights. What do you think about Bitcoin? I'll tell you guys my horror story with Bitcoin someday. And wow, there's a lot of comments going on right now. Wage Freedom. What's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Only OGs know about the jail history. Yeah, if you look through my YouTube channel, I tell some of the stories. And there's a million stories I haven't told. It's one of the things I like about YouTube is, let's say I got hit by a truck tomorrow. Someone could log in 10 years from now, and these videos will be there. And there I am talking. You know, I don't know who that would be, but it's awesome. Because right now, I think, and I don't want to go on another tangent, but if you die and you have a YouTube channel, what happens to your videos? Do the videos live forever? I think so, because there have been, like, I know some big fitness YouTuber, the guy they called Ziz, I think, or whatever his name was, but he died and his videos are still all there, and they'll probably be online forever. So having a YouTube channel and making YouTube videos turns you into an immortal. I finally figured out the secret to immortality. And it is YouTube. And it is also sleep. You know, last night, I'll tell you guys about this later, but I hung out with a girlfriend of mine, and we went to see, took a bunch of edibles, went and ate a bunch of seafood at a restaurant, had a huge platter of lobster and clams and oysters and all of this stuff. And then we went to the movies to see Thor. And I would have never gone to see Thor in my life, but she wanted to see it really bad. I thought it was going to be like a serious, intense movie like 300, where Thor was fighting a battle and doing all this. Turned out to be a comedy. Blew my mind. It was actually fantastic, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. I was on so many edibles that any movie would have been good at that point. I had a blast watching it. And so if you want something fun to do, even if you're not a fan of Thor and that kind of movie, but if you're a fan of edibles, take the edibles, go see Thor, come back, and we'll talk about it. Highly recommended. Anyway, that's it, man. I'm going to tune out. Everybody have a great night. As always, thank you for tuning in. What's up, Harsh? What's up, Wage Freedom? What's up, the Shy Vegan? I do need sleep. I'm very tired. I stayed up way too late last night. I mean, for me, probably 12:30, 1 o'clock. But then my body wakes up about 6 a.m. and that's it. So anyway, what's up from Sacramento? Fight for net neutrality. Yeah, net neutrality. We'll talk about that as well. Bolo, what's up, man? My Texas brother. All right, that's it. 3, 2, 1. Everybody have a fantastic night. Oh, thanks for tuning in. And as always, it's your pal Malan, and I will see you in the future.